afternoon. I'm Dawn Kelly, and we are here for the Nourish Spot Hour on Caribbean Buzz Radio. And I'm excited because it's Resurrection Weekend.
Yes.
And that is it's another opportunity for me to be grateful for all the wondrous and awesome opportunities that God has afforded me over the last 3 years, ever since my job was eliminated and I started a new journey with the Nourish Spot, the actual store. And so now we're here today with two new guests. Today I have with me, you know I bring my friends, so
Yes.
I have two of my new friends with me. I have to my left Keisha Christie. She's the CEO of Level Up Event Space. And to my right, I have my mentee and my friend Dianna Rose, who has a couple of companies. She has Jars of Delight.
Woo.
And she has embarked on a new sustainability journey called Her Sustainable Life. So, ladies, thank you very much for coming on to the Nourish Spot Hour. How you doing today?
Awesome.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for having us, Dawn.
This is awesome.
You're welcome. And happy birthday, Keisha.
Woo! Thank you.
I'm very happy. I'm very happy to have you here today, that you were able to take some time away from your calendar to be with us here this afternoon.
Thank you,
So let's
Queen.
get started.
Yes.
You know, the basis for my show is we talk pretty much a lot about entrepreneurship.
Right.
Because I am a new entrepreneur. I actually started in business in 2016. I started with a friend. We did a virtual PR firm that's called Metropolis Group.
Okay.
But God wasn't through with me, and so he gave me the idea for the Nourish Spot, which is a healthy food and beverage haven here in Southeast Queens. Yes. And so I'm really proud. I'm really proud of the work that we've done there. But what it has shown me is that I got a lot of sister girls out there doing business.
Yep,
and
you're
so we're going to start with you today, Keisha, because I know you got to jet out a little earlier than the
Thank
show
you.
ends. So first, before we get started, tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us why entrepreneurship.
So I'm Keisha Christie. I've been an entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur, and things got really real. I'm a daughter of a Jamaican immigrant. And actually, entrepreneurship started for me very young. My family had a business. They had a bus company in Jamaica. So I was counting money when I was 11. And I was like, oh, I love this. My dad had freedom. You know, they had financial security, had a big, beautiful home, and they provided well. Thank God. So I caught that bug very early. And I've been grateful to be able to, teach my daughter. So for generations to come, there's nothing more than legacy. Now, yes, I do have a full-time job, but does that stop me in being able to provide a little additional income for myself? No. And it shouldn't stop anyone. Basically, Level Up Connections began as a brand to help and pretty much have a networking events, to help upcoming entrepreneurs and those that are actually been, in the entrepreneurship game for a while. So, funny story how Level Up Connections event space started.
Because I keep hearing that song, Level Up, Level Up, Level Up.
Level Up. By Sierra, yes. That's our theme song, actually.
Yes.
I was supposed to get married last year. And things didn't work out. It's okay. So the money for the wedding is actually now into Level Up.
Dope. Dope.
So every time we have a celebration, I'm celebrating as well because I get to see people happy, enjoying themselves. Baby showers, you name it, happens there. So a lot of people don't know that about how Level Up Connections event space started. It was a marriage that never happened. And it cost me less for a divorce, right? Wouldn't you
Right.
say?
Yeah.
And I'm happy, so God is good.
So now tell us, where is Level Up located, and how do people get in touch with you or your team
Absolutely.
to actually confirm the space?
Thank you. So Level Up is actually on 228-17 Merrick Boulevard in Laurelton, Queens. Beautiful community. And we can be reached at info@levelupconnections.com for our emails. And social media, Level Up Connections event space on Facebook. On Instagram, Level Up _ event space. Our telephone number is 347-878-1567.
So tell us a little bit about why entrepreneurship. I mean, I know you said that your parents, so you have a legacy of it, your parents were involved, but you know, many of us, and I've worked for a very long time too before I became an entrepreneur, sometimes working is enough, right? You know, you get your salary, you got your benefits, you know, your bills are paid, right?
Right.
You know, why take on the extra, hustle? Why do that?
I really love to have my own freedom. So I don't plan to work for a very long time for others. And I challenge myself every single day to find out what's new, what's next, and how can I get involved, because it's going to give me either additional income, at least 5. That's why for me.
Okay.
I need at least 5 additional incomes on top of my job salary. And when I'm ready to leave, I should be able to replace that salary. I love my freedom. I love to be able to go here, there, and everywhere in a snap of a finger. I don't want to be bogged down. And not to say a job is going to bog you down, but for me, I just like flexibility and freedom. I like to be able to show that, listen, you're not just a worker bee. You know, there is room for you to create your own legacy and your brand and your business, you know, and be able to pass that down to your future generation. Right. You know, every company did it. Amazon is doing it. Uber's, every company from then to now is doing it. And I also realize you have to reinvent yourself every single time. There's shifting and changing, and the pyramid changes. Sometimes it's crossways, this way. So you have to remember to educate yourself.
So tell me this. What are some of the skills that you're able to bring from your corporate employment into your business?
Patience. Patience. And also relationship building. It's very important. Regardless of where I am, who I am with, I always build a relationship, because it goes so much further than this money.
Yeah.
You know, because I can tell you an instant. Yesterday, I have a very good relationship with a party decor space that's 2 doors down, Party Shack. Okay. And I'm able always to go to her, because every time a customer comes to me, I walk them to her business.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I walk them to her business 2 doors down. It takes nothing but 2 seconds. The restaurant, that's 2 doors down.
Right.
I walk them there. You can
Okay.
get this from here, this from here. So I built relationships with these business owners, and they have invested in me
Right.
That's
mentally,
big.
spiritually. You know what I mean? They're
Right.
praying for my business like I'm praying for theirs.
Right.
So it takes nothing out of me to build that relationship that's going to even last beyond me. Even let's say I move
Right.
from this space, I know the relationship goes
Yeah.
with me wherever I go. I can call on them. Yesterday I did an event at another location. I was able to say, hey, I need this, this, and this. She's like, okay, I got you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's important.
That's excellent. That's excellent. So another question that I have for you, and it goes sort of with the relationship building part, is when you meet people, you know, give us like some tips, because you know I know a lot of people, and I also know people that they're when they get in a room with others, they get paralyzed,
Oh,
right?
yes.
So give us some of your tips on how to work a room
Okay. Sure.
and network.
All right, I got you. The most important thing is to smile. Smile. There's nothing more. It brings down all kinds of walls
It
from
does.
people. It disarms them. A big, broad smile. We even have the Smile Challenge on
Yes.
Motivation Monday show.
Yes.
Smile with somebody you don't know.
Right.
That right there, if you go into a room and you see someone like this,
Yeah.
hi, how are you? You'll see it completely disarms them.
Okay.
You know, another tip, I've learned this from a very close friend of mine, Jessica Sinclair. She does network like you mean it.
Okay.
See, we have a mutual friend. There you go. Jessica says, you know what? Don't immediately say, hey, I'm Jessica, here's my card.
Right.
Have a conversation with the person. If you realize that they're a bit tense, don't immediately want to touch them or shake their hand. Some people are funny. like that. So you want to take your time. Learn body language. The more education you get, I'm telling you, it will bring you to so far.
That's how we met Thursday.
Exactly. And we ended up having dinner after the event.
Did
Yeah.
you?
Yes.
Wow. Isn't that
So
something?
true.
So they're actually talking about, we all met up on Thursday. Greater Jamaica Development Corporation here in Jamaica, Queens, actually hosted an event with Progress Playbook.
Yes.
And our wonderful state senator, Leroy Comrie, for an event called So You Want Funding for Your Business. And I would tell you, I was surprised to see as
was
many
amazing.
people
Packed
that
house.
showed up. I mean,
Yes.
usually
Full house.
when
Full
you go
house.
to these events at
Yeah.
night in Jamaica, you may
After work.
get about 10 people, maybe 15.
Yeah, it was a packed house.
This place was
Yeah.
there was standing room in there. That's
Yeah.
it. Every seat
They
in
had
the
to create
house
more
was
seating.
taken.
Yeah, oh,
Yes.
yeah, they had to create
And
extra seating.
the information that was shared with us was, spot on. Actually, they talked about a challenge for 10-10 wins. It's a little late that I'm telling you now, but 10-10 Wins had a small business challenge where you could go online and actually submit your business. So I was one of those people that ran home
Yes, you did.
and actually submitted my business immediately. So you gave us 2 tips. Now,
Okay.
what's the third?
The third one, I definitely would do follow-up. I mean, after the event, you want to follow up with those that you meet that really impacted you and can play a huge part in your growth.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of people, they take cards to collect dust. It really doesn't make any sense to keep it in your wallet or whatever. Reach out, hey, thank you so much, great to meet you, and meet up for lunch, coffee,
Right.
something.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
we can then further the relationship.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what I would do.
Exactly. And so one more thing, you're watching the Nourish Spot Hour on Caribbean Buzz Radio. I'm Dawn Kelly, and I'm with Keisha Christie and Dianna Rose. So Dianna, we don't want Keisha to leave, but I want the people to know about you and the things that you're doing. And so how we met is through Colorcom.
Yes.
And Colorcom is an organization for women that are in communications, all facets of communications. And that's how Dianna and I met. But I quickly learned about your Jars of Delight venture. And now, recently, you have started morphing more into this sustainability journey.
Yes.
So tell us, Dianna, tell us about Jars of Delight and then how you have morphed into her sustainable life.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for having me, Dawn, my mentor. It's better than yours. So I'm Dianna Rose, and I am the owner of Jars of Delight, a zero-waste catering and meal prep company here in Southeast Jamaica, Queens, and also the founder of Her Sustainable Life. So Jars of Delight, I'm just going to be honest, was just a gift God just dropped in my hand. At the time, I was embarking on a pre-med education. I was going to Hofstra University, and I switched my major to community health. So everyone is like, what? What are you going to, how are you going to make money? I didn't know at the time that I would have needed that degree to really further my business, but Jars of Delight just happened. I was meal prepping for a friend. And as we are in this world of social media, we posted it, and everyone's like, oh, where can I get that? Where can I buy it? And I was like, really? Seriously?
Yeah.
And long story short, a month later, I had about 7 meal prep customers weekly. And in 2 months, I got my first contract for a catering event in Manhattan from the Business of Women of Entrepreneurs. And so I'm like, I just wanted to vend at the event, to be honest. I didn't even want to cater. And after speaking with her, and she loved the concept, loved the innovativeness of it. And she's like, oh, can you cater? So I'm like, sure. And she's like, oh, it's 350 people.
Yeah.
What?
The first one?
The first one.
Wow, that's
And
excellent.
we had access to a kitchen that was overlooking Manhattan and the skyline. It was a dream, like literally a dream. And after that day, I'm like, okay, this is real. This is it. And so I was still working full time at Winthrop Hospital, and I just had to just make that leap. And it was very scary because you don't really know what's going to happen. And especially in a field, I can always cook. That was something I could always do, but I've never had formal culinary training apart from my stepdad, who's an amazing professional chef. But took the leap, trusted God, and now we are a certified MWBE catering company. So it's just, and it's only been 16 months. So it's just been an amazing journey. But it was through Jars of Delight that I got reacquainted with my love of sustainability and community health, and just learning all the ways that we can take the catering, the service, and everything, and really drive home this zero waste idea, because we do know how much waste, especially food waste in America right now, that we're seeing and witnessing, and it's really unfortunate because they're just little steps that we can take. So one day, just sitting home, the name Her Sustainable Life came to me, and this is something I practice at home. This isn't just like a trendy thing, and I'm like, really? Just bought the domain, did an Instagram, and my first day, I got someone reaching out to me saying, we'd love to sponsor you. Wow. What? Won't my God do it? So It's been an amazing, and it's only been about 3 weeks technically that Her Sustainable Life was born, and I've already had paid speaking engagement at Hofstra University and different go Hofstra, just different events. My church embraced it, and we had an amazing workshop. Also, we're coming up this Saturday. Senator James Sanders is having an Earth Day event. Please check it out. Follow my page. The link is there. And I'll be one of the workshop and speakers there. So it's really about understanding what sustainability is, right? And how we all play a role individually, and how collectively our impact could be so dope.
Well, we're going to allow you to explain to us a little bit more about sustainability.
Sure.
But I just want to tell the people, the Nourish Spot Hour can be heard on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, and TuneIn. And you can listen now through Facebook Live. Of course, you're watching my Facebook Live. I think Dianna has her Facebook Live on. I believe Keisha has her Facebook Live. So you can watch us. But you can actually listen to us tomorrow or during the week through all of those platforms that I just mentioned. So, Dianna, tell us, what is sustainability? Because I hear that word thrown around, right? You know, and you know, I recycle. Is that enough? Is recycling enough?
That's a great start, right? It's a good start. It's good. It's good, right? It's a good start.
Or is there more to it?
So there's so much more to sustainability, and I know right now it's a trendy word. Like I said, when I got my degree in 2013, it wasn't so trendy. So now you hear it all the time. Companies are going sustainable, and businesses are going sustainable with B Corps and all of these things. But simply put, sustainability is just the ability to operate daily, whether it's personally or in your business, without depleting our natural resources. That's all it is. So it's just being mindful of everything that we do, how we process, how we make things, how we even run our businesses, keeping the environment in mind. That's really what it is. And
so that means I need some help. I need you to help me find some biodegradable cups.
Yes, and straws.
And I need you to help me find some biodegradable straws, because unfortunately, the food distribution place where I go to purchase the things for the Nourish Spot, they don't offer that.
This is so dope right now. Like, I have goosebumps because this is just my entire being. If you know, anyone that really knows me, I'm geeked out about it. So this is like, yes, which is great because apart from Her Sustainable Life, I am doing consulting for businesses because I've had so many people reach out to me. So I actually have a really, really big contract coming up with a super dope event where I'm just helping them really try to make it a zero waste event. So as details come along, I'll discuss more, but sure. So you see how simple that is. So it's just going to a biodegradable straw or paper straw, or not giving straws, right?
Okay.
So if someone doesn't need a straw, well, it's a little difficult with the cups, but if someone doesn't need a straw, then don't give it to them.
Right.
So it's just small, simple steps. So I'm calling it the simple, super sustainability steps, little things that we can all do, and getting biodegradable cups, and even using napkins that Yes, that are biodegradable and compostable. So these are all terms. So what is compostable? Anything that's compostable, you can throw out with your food scraps, which I know you are composting. Yes, round of applause for the Nourish spot. Yes. So it's just really simple steps that you can take in your business as well as your personal life. Something as small as switching from a plastic toothbrush to a bamboo toothbrush or a charcoal toothbrush. So when you're done with it, you can throw it out with your compost. So it's really simple steps, but think about collectively, if we all do it, how much of an impact it's really going to make.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So Keisha, I know that you don't have a lot more time. So I wanted to ask you a question that I'll ask Dianna later, and I ask all my guests. How do you nourish yourself?
I come to the Nourish spot.
In addition to that.
Oh, okay. The Nourish spot. That's it. I mean, okay, so I've seen it on the block on Merrick, so I do try to divert. I don't do fast food anymore. Okay. Right. So if I'm hungry and I'm on the go, I go and get something where I can have quick but healthy. Okay. So if it's not the Nourish spot, there's quite a bit of them on Merrick. So if I'm close to the business, I can walk down to the block and bless somebody else's business, right? Okay. So other than that, I rarely cook at home. Okay. So I need to come get some of that meal prepping, honey.
That's
Thank you. I just want to, I'm very happy to know that I've met you, because now I can, participate in blessing your business
Absolutely.
as well. So
that's the great part about this show, and I'm very pleased that I have this because, there are a lot of us out here doing a lot of big things, right? But we're all off in our corners, hustling and grinding and making it happen where we are, right? So that's why the Greater Jamaica Development event was so good, because it brought all of us together and we got to learn about other people that are out here striving just like we are. And I would tell you guys that I've already received, now I count on you two as customers, but of course, I have already received 2 of the people that we met at the event. The young man that is going to open up the Twisted Fish. Okay, he came to the store with his girlfriend the other day. Very nice. And the next day, he actually came with his girlfriend. That's and awesome. Then yesterday, Hannah's Bandanas. Yes, she was in the store yesterday. Wow. So the beauty of us figuring out how to lift each other,
cooperative economics,
will definitely make sure that we do good in business, and that people that come behind us will also do good in business, because we're setting the right example for them, right? You're right? So now you said you eat well, right? What about exercise? What about maybe reading, traveling? What other things do you do to nourish yourself?
So reading is something that I'm working my way back into. The exercise, does going up and down the stairs instead of taking the elevator 5 days a week count?
Yes, it does.
Thank you very much.
It's steps. It counts towards your steps. Okay.
I mean, yes. Traveling, I love to travel. Okay. However, once I get level up where I want it to be, and I'm out of here, I'll be calling from the plane. Oh, you know what? I just boarded down. I'll see you next week for make my usual. I do love traveling.
So tell me what that means for you. What does getting level up to a certain place, what does that mean? Where are you trying? What is your journey? What is your goal? Your end goal? Yes. My
end goal is every week, and also having contracts. See, I also offer contracts for training, for I had a company contact me for summer school. Okay. So I want it, when you set the business so it's bubbling, where it's having
where it's sustainable.
Bubbling, the Jamaican in me. Where it's sustainable, it's paying for itself and a little extra. Remember I asked the question at the table regarding that cushion?
Yes. Right. Yes.
See, I want to be in that where I have that cushion where I'm not like, oh my gosh, no. You know what I mean? So that's where I would like for the business to be. Then I'll be able to let go and be like, who's control? Okay. That's what I see.
So tell us again how people, if they want to reserve a space and level up, tell us again how they get in touch with you.
So Level Up Connections event space is located at 228-17 Merritt Boulevard in Laurelton, Queens. We can be reached on Instagram and also on Facebook. Facebook is Level Up Connections event space, and the Instagram name is levelup_event space. Our email is info@levelupconnections.com. Telephone number is 347-878-1567.
Thank you very much, Keisha. We're going to take a little break, and we're going to come back. You're watching the Nourish Spot Hour on Caribbean Buzz Radio. I'm Dawn Kelly with Keisha Christie and Dianna Rose, and we'll be right back. You're watching the Nourish Spot Hour on Caribbean Buzz Radio. I'm Dawn Kelly, and we are back with Miss Dianna Rose of Her Sustainable Life and the wonderful Jars of Delight. So Dianna, thanks again for taking the time
it's a pleasure
to
to
come
be
on
here.
to the show. And so I want to talk to you too about why entrepreneurship. You mentioned earlier that you are a graduate student. You've been, tending to your classes and your schooling. And I know that you're also a mom. So you already have like 3 full-time jobs.
Yes.
So why entrepreneurship?
So it's funny because I never really thought about it until someone else asked me that question. And my parents were both entrepreneurs. My dad, until he passed away, owned his own electrical company. Okay. And my mom was a cosmetologist, and she owned her own shop, 2 shops. So I grew up in a very entrepreneurial household. So my parents were there, and I didn't know at the time, but things really don't start manifesting themselves until you sit back and you think, oh wow, it's a part of my bloodline, it's a part of who I am. And then my son started with his books, and I'm like, really, this is really a thing in our family. So
Tell us a little bit about Chance's.
Oh, my baby. So Che Blount. Hey, baby, I love you. Mommy loves you. He is a 10-year-old published author. Of 3 books right now. So he started writing when he was 7, and that just was natural to him. He came to me and said, Mom, I want to write a book. And Dawn, I'm not going to kid you. I kid you not. I thought it was just construction paper, glitter, and when my 7-year-old son brought back a manuscript to me, I didn't even know what to do. So I showed my aunt, Auntie Lily, I love you, showed my aunt, and we're like, we have to get him published. This is dope. So all it was from a 7-year-old's perspective, how to take care of a baby.
Okay.
So just innocent and pure. And, we ended up doing self-publishing, used our own photos to illustrate the book because we couldn't afford the illustrator at the time because it was super expensive.
Okay.
But when we posted it, people just took to it and shared it. And before you know it, our elected officials are giving him citations and things like that. And now he's a paid speaker and traveling. And for him, it's just so natural. It's nothing I had to amp him up to do. So it really does run in our bloodline. But entrepreneurship for me right now as a mom, a single mom of 2 kids, it is a lot about time freedom. Okay. Just being able to work and still provide for them, but also be present in their lives, which to me is just the most important thing, because children don't remember what you give them. They remember the experiences that they have with you. So for me, it's just being able to set my schedule to be a mom first and an entrepreneur second. So that's my number one reason. Another reason is because I'm naturally a creative person. Okay. And I've loved every job I've worked. Every 9 to 5 I had, okay. I've loved my coworkers, my bosses. Okay. So I've never had an experience where I'm just like, oh, I don't want to work for anybody. I enjoyed it. I'm not going to lie. And sometimes it's a lot easier because you do your job, you go home. Right. But I'm just naturally a creative person, so I need the ability to create. Okay. So that's how Jars of Delight came about in Her Sustainable Life. It's just being able to use that creative gift that God gave me. So that's what it is.
So the other part you talked about earlier about meal planning, right? Mm-hmm. So tell me, how does that work? How does Jars of Delight, and how do you do meal planning? Do customers call you? I mean, what just Take us through that.
Sure. So a customer will call, our client will call and say, they're interested in meal prep. So we send them out the menu and we ask them if they have any dietary restrictions or any type of allergies. And we just go through and build a menu with them. So you can either order 5 or 10 jars for the week.
Okay.
So they're delivered every Sunday morning. So they're freshly delivered,
Okay.
and you have your jars for the week. And then if you choose to recycle your jars, you get a 5% discount on your next meal order. So that's really incorporating that sustainable business model again.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
lovely.
so it's pretty simple. We have 4 flavors,
Okay.
4 different proteins, and a whole bunch of different side orders that you can just mix and match your jar. So it's really cool. So you can every week you can have a different combination of food of meal prep.
So now, where do you do your work? I mean, do you have a brick and mortar, or where do you actually assemble? And when you're doing these orders, or you're getting your catering orders together, where are you actually doing that work?
So right now we're out of a commercial kitchen. We were in one in Brooklyn, and then that we had a major situation out there. They closed the kitchen, so it left 100 of us small businesses displaced. So, and I also have a good friend who owns a restaurant, so I sublet from him.
Okay.
But also right now I'm signing a contract with Entrepreneur Space from QEDC.
Okay.
So we'll be at the Entrepreneur Space starting this month, but right now we're out of a personal kitchen on Long Island.
Okay. And QEDC, that's Queens Economic Development Corporation, for
So they
those
have a
of you
commercial kitchen.
that live here in Jamaica, Queens, or live in Queens, because QEDC actually services the entire borough,
Yes.
right? So Keisha had to leave, but you and I were at that Greater Jamaica
Yes.
Development event.
It was great.
And, the one thing I thought was kind of funny, the room was majority attendees were women.
It was.
Right?
The whole male panel was
but
male.
the panel was all male.
That is so
it was
funny.
wonderful in terms
Yes,
of diversity,
it was.
because the whole room was diverse,
amazing.
in terms of ages, in terms of ethnicity, in terms of businesses.
Yes.
But it was just amazing
It was.
that all of the panelists were men. What were some of the things that you took away from that event?
Well, I think the biggest refresher to me was when DK was talking about your personal life, your personal finances is really a reflection of your business. So if you do not have your personal finances together, your personal life together, so to speak, it's going to be really hard to manage a business. And in terms of looking for investors, and whether it be angel investors, it's really difficult to go to them when your personal business and your personal finances aren't set. So that was one of the refreshers to me, because when I first started really pursuing entrepreneurism, I had to get my personal finances in order. So make sure your credit score is in good standing, your bank accounts are in good standing. So that was really a great refresher for me. So your personal life is a reflection of how you're going to run your business. So whatever skills you're lacking in your personal life, you either need to hire someone. So if you're not good at organizing, or if you're not good at bookkeeping or accounting, you need to hire somebody to do that. Right. So that was a huge thing, because I don't think a lot of people really equate that. I think they just think, oh, I can run a business, but looking, when you do a deeper check in their personal life, it's really in disarray. So that was a great piece of advice. One of the other big gems that I felt like I took home was about your pitch. So knowing your product, knowing your business, and knowing what service you're offering. So for me as a caterer, I have to hone in on what exactly I'm offering. So when I only have a few minutes to even speak to a person, right, to tell them what I do and who I am. So I need to rehearse that. I need to know it, eat it, breathe it, sleep it. So there's no stumbling. Who are you? My name is Dianna Rose. I'm the owner of Jars of Delight, a zero-waste catering company here in Jamaica, Queens. So you just have to have it in you. So I felt like that was the two big things that I took home.
Yeah, I thought that was excellent too, when DK was actually talking about your pitch and having it down pat. And I also like the fact that they shared with us the challenge that I talked about earlier with 10-10 wins, and also the startup palooza,
Yes.
where you could go and you could pitch your event. So it's really, really important that if you are a small business owner, and I would just say a human being in general, that you never stop learning.
Yes.
Like when I worked for AARP some eons ago, they used to tell us that learning was a lifelong journey. And, I was young then, and I would, say, I just finished college. You're going to tell me about
Give me a break.
learning. I don't want to learn anything else. But I realized
Yeah,
that is actually true. And as you learn, you evolve. Personally and professionally, and it just gets better, right? It just
does
gets
get
better. So, we're getting closer to the end. So now I want to ask you a couple of questions about you personally.
Sure.
So one of those is, how do you nourish yourself?
So, absolutely, I'm a frequent. This is actually the Dianna right here that I'm drinking. It's my own personal drink. But also, as a caterer and meal prep, owner, I do cook a lot. So, enjoying cooking and also incorporating my kids is a big thing. So getting them excited about healthy food and even the transformation of how the presentation of my food is. So even my refrigerator is attractive. So when they open the fridge, they see colors, and also for myself too. So when I open my fridge, when I see strawberries or I see grapes, I'm gonna naturally grab that. So I would say I cook a lot at home. I try not to eat out a lot, apart from healthy establishments like the Nourish spot. But for the most part, for me, I cook a lot. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the Dianna, for all of you out there, it has pineapple, coconut milk, and agave. So you can always come to the Nourish spot, and we will make you a Dianna. At your earliest convenience. The Nourish spot is actually located at 10705 Guy Arbor Boulevard here in Jamaica, Queens. We're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. So you got a couple of more hours if you want to get your nourishment in. Get right over to the Nourish spot. And if you can't get there, you can contact Grubhub, Uber Eats, Postmates, Seamless, or am I missing one? Postmates. I think that's it. So
And DoorDash.
Oh yeah, DoorDash. That's the other one. Thank you. Don't get mad, DoorDash. So another question that I have for you is, what do you do for fun? What do you do for fun? Because you're very busy.
Yeah.
I saw you were speaking at Hofstra yesterday or the day before. I saw you the night before at the event. I think you were in the store on Wednesday. So, when do you relax?
Well, so to me, relaxation is just having fun at home. So if it's, being with my boys, my 10-year-old, my very, very excited and a darling 2-year-old. So it's just really home, just hanging out with them and just trying to find creative ways just to chill with them. Also church. So before Jars of Delight, I was at church more often. So whether it be on Saturdays, we'd be at church from 4 until maybe like 9:30, and then in church all day again Sunday. So I grew up in ministry, so it's really a part of me. So just being in church is fun for us. And, all my lifelong friends and church families there. So between home and church, that's where you'll find me if I'm not working or, doing an event or something.
So let's tell the people again for you, how do people get in touch with Dianna for, if they want you as a speaker, how do they get in touch with you? Sure. And if they would like to hire you for catering, how do they get in touch with you?
Sure. So if you would love to be delighted, you can reach us at www.jarsofdelight.com or info@jarsofdelight.com. And for me personally, if you would love more information or host a workshop or to have me as a speaker on sustainability and zero waste, you can reach me at hersustainablelife@gmail.com.
Perfect. So I have another question. It just made me think about it. We met at ColorCom. So now, ColorCom is a marketing organization, a communications marketing organization for women, mostly women. What do you do there?
So that's through our mutual friend, Dianna. So Dianna introduced me to ColorCom. Love you, D. And so that was just it. It was just really like membership or just through that introduction. She she was I think, director or on the board for Colorcom. So she sent me the email, and that's one thing I love about having women like Dianna and yourself, because my mentor is better than yours. I'm a hashtag that. That is, nobody else uses that. Okay, that's mine. So just having women like you in my life. So as a matter of fact, my other mentor, Ernest, sent me the Progress Playbook link, and then you sent it to me right after.
Right.
So that's exactly what she did. Sent me hey, you need to look into this. And so that's how I got my introduction to Colorcom, but it's really having women like you and Dianna in my life that really pushes us and goes back to that education piece, and always learning pushes you to your best potential. So that's how it happened.
And I also want to congratulate you, because the MWBE situation, it's not easy.
It's not. Oh my God.
Even for the Nourish spot, I would tell the audience and you, I gave up 3 times.
Me too.
Because it was so much information,
so much.
and the submission process through that portal.
My actual submission the first time expired, so I had to start all over again. Expired on January 2nd.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it takes a lot of
it's a lot.
effort to actually get it. So I want to tell you congratulations on earning that, because that's a big thing. I mean, I have, in me sharing the fact that we earned our MWBE and our WBE from New York City and New York State, in me sharing that with other people have said to me,
it inspired us.
Yes, they're
It did.
oh my gosh,
it inspired us.
I tried to do it and I gave up, but because you stood with it and you stick to it and you got yours, I'm going to do mine. So I'm really, really happy to know that you got it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how Jars of Delight grows and expands, and we're going to have you back here.
We love it. I love it here.
So that you can announce this big announcement that you're working on.
So exciting. So exciting.
So I really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. And so before we close the show today, I just want to give a shout out to South Jamaica Reads. This past week, South Jamaica Reads actually invited me to serve as a keynote speaker at their event, where they brought together their volunteers from around New York City and Long Island to honor them for taking time out of their schedules to make sure that young people can read, because we all know, I know this is cliche, but it's true. Reading is fundamental. If you can't read, you really can't do a lot of things. I mean, life becomes real limited if you can't read and write. And so I want to say publicly, thank you to South Jamaica Reads for partnering with me and my daughter Jade and the Nourish Spot to make sure that we have books to give out to young people when they come into the store, as well as books for teenagers that often need, some good books and some good information to teach them, how to navigate life, because life's not easy. Right. So with that, we're going to wrap up today's show.
So great.
Dianna, thank you so very much for taking the time out your schedule. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in today to the Nourish Spot Hour. Please remember that you can hear us again on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and tune in. You're watching and you're listening to the Nourish Spot Hour on Caribbean Buzz Radio. I'm Dawn Kelly. Until we meet next week.